In the Impact segment tonight, a big about-face from the head of Homeland Security in the wake of that botched Christmas Day terror attack on a Northwest Airlines jet. Listen to what Janet Napolitano said on Sunday about airport security.
What we're focused on is making sure that the air environment remains safe, that people are confident when they travel. And one thing I'd like to point out is that the system worked.
Oh, boy. After coming under fire, Ms. Napolitano did some backtracking this morning on Fox and Friends.
So you agree that was a failure of the security system?
No Secretary of Homeland Security would sit here and say that a system worked prior to this incident, which allowed this individual to get on this plane.
Joining us now from Los Angeles is Leslie Marshall, a liberal radio talk show host. Leslie, all right, so I'm watching these two sounds on tape shots, and I see Janet Napolitano telling me everything worked fine on Sunday, and then today she came and said, boy, I'd be out of my mind if I said everything worked fine. Where is the confidence? She said, you have to have confidence in flying. Frankly, I don't. Should I?
Well, I guess it depends if you're going through Nigeria or Amsterdam, because this was not an American security problem, obviously, Eric. This was a problem and a flaw in the systems of the countries of Amsterdam and Nigeria. And although the United States may have a far reach, I'm not sure our reach goes into the security systems of Amsterdam and Nigeria. And perhaps we, along with the rest of the world and our allies, need to look into that, not just for America's security, but for the world's security. So
Leslie,
I don't think she flip-flopped.
Oh, she did. Well, on one hand,
No.
on Sunday, she said it worked. On Monday, she said it didn't. That's a clear flip-flop. Here's the question.
Is she talking about foreign security or American security?
It doesn't matter. That flight was bound for Detroit. That was going to be over U.S. airspace and was. I think it doesn't matter. Here's the question, though. The guy, a 23-year-old, his father called the U.S. Embassy and said, hey, my son is being radicalized in London. He was denied a visa in London, in the U.K., but allowed a visa here. The list of reasons to put this guy on a watch list, more than just the watch list, the no-fly list or more, it goes on, yet our Department of Homeland Security Secretary says everything worked fine.
Well, no, you're saying she didn't this morning, according to the clip that I just saw. And I'll tell you, I myself have traveled without luggage, and I'm not on a watch list, and certainly that raised some eyebrows. So I think that there are already standard operating procedures in place that clearly were not followed when it comes to this individual. And there's no question that that was a screw up. Who's screw up? Where does it be? Is it just the Nigerian government? Is it just Amsterdam? Is it just our government? I think we can always do better, Eric, until we know 100% that when we put our head on the pillow each night, that we are not at risk of any enemy of the United States.
You know, Leslie, this happened Christmas Day. We waited on, that was a Friday. On Saturday, we didn't hear from the president. On Saturday and Sunday, we didn't hear from him. Finally, Monday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, we hear a 6-minute speech that encompassed, more than just that. What takes so long? We're talking about showing the world we're going to be aggressive on terror. Here's a potential terror attack, and it took us more than 3 days to address it.
Well, what you just said, Eric, is a potential terrorist attack or an attempt at a terrorist attack. I'm a real impatient, knee-jerk person, but I also know, to quote Benjamin Franklin, that haste makes waste. And I think that the president wants to be sure that he is fully informed and that he is going to think through his remarks before addressing the American people.
I'm going to take the other side of what you just said. A man is on an airplane with 300 people on it with explosives and something ignites. I would call that terror, even though someone didn't die. There was potentially, catastrophic death totals that could have happened. So I'm going to go ahead and call that a terrorist activity, terrorist act. You don't think we should be, pushing these foreign governments, anyone who has an international flight into the U.S., to step up their security?
That's not what you asked me. You asked me why did it take a few days or so long for the president to respond and to say something. I don't see whether he spoke 5 minutes later, 5 days later, 5 hours later, where that makes the difference. The incident was a thwarted terrorist attack, and we can only commend the people on that plane, the people of the airlines, the passengers, marshals, etc., for doing a great job after this man slipped through the cracks, if you want to say, for lack of a better phrase, through the airports in Nigeria and Amsterdam coming into the United States.
Leslie,
bound for Detroit.
do we tell al-Qaeda, do we tell the terrorists, the jihadists of the world that we're going to be tough on terror if it takes us 3 days to respond to a potential terrorist attack?
So did you want the president to bomb Nigeria and Amsterdam, Eric? Is that our response to show that we're real tough, we're G.I. Joe, and we,
no,
you know,
Leslie,
we have all
I
this,
would like my president
to
cut his golf game short and maybe get to a podium and tell us, don't worry, we're going to do everything to make your air safe, our airspace safe, and the airplanes we fly. And Leslie, got to leave it there. Thank you very much.